Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt Lane and welcome back to another episode of Bloodborne Bosses. Today we're going to be covering one of the bosses that falls into the top 5 in the difficulty section for me. And he is known no other than Martyr Logarius. This is a very unique boss because there's not really a single item in the game that there just is a switch and when I see the item I think, oh, that'll be good against Martyr Logarius. So honestly, the only thing I would really advise if you are having difficulty and you weren't already using these items to begin with would be either bolt paper or fire paper, just to get that little extra damage on your weapon that might give you the edge you need to defeat the boss. But most importantly, the biggest tip I would give for preparation is to not come to Cainhurst at all too early, which if you've made it to this point, you're probably okay. But if you get to Cainhurst and you are just getting annihilated by every single enemy that you face, you probably need to level up before you head to Martyr Logarius. This area is immediately accessible after going through the Forbidden Woods and taking a detour that will actually take you behind Yosefska's clinic and allow you to get the summons, which you can then take to Hemwick Charnel Lane and take it from there. However, if you do this the second that you are able, you will get slaughtered, I promise. I do not advise going to Cainhurst or fighting this boss until you're around level 80 or higher. That's going to be it for preparation, so let's go ahead and talk about some tips and tricks of how to handle the fighting style of this boss. So really all you need to do is summon a One of the biggest things to note about this boss is that he's going to do a lot more casting than he will actual physical attacks. This will be very annoying your first few times because it takes a while to kind of figure out the timing and where to dodge to not get hit by these. One thing I will say, very similar to Father Gascoigne, is that the actual terrain will help you to distance yourself from the boss. There's not as near as many items as there were in the Gascoigne fight, but there are these small steeples on top of the roof that you can almost use as a shield for his magic attacks. All you have to do is just get that steeple in between you and him and just let the magic hit it. The only problem with this is that you're not going to be doing any attacking when you're doing this. This is simply a defensive tactic because the steeples are big enough to where by the time you get around it, he's going to be attacking again. As with a lot of bosses in Bloodborne, or enemies in general for that matter, dodging forward will almost always serve you better than dodging backwards or to the side. And you'll find that this will be the case with Martyr Logarius. Once you've kind of figured out his casting attacks, you can kind of start going on the offensive then. When you begin to do this and you start getting close to him and getting all up in his grill, he's then going to start doing some actual physical attacks. In this first phase, it's really nothing to be concerned with. It's pretty slow and telegraphs pretty easily and you can kind of see it coming. Which brings me to my next point. Parry the crap out of him in this first phase, because it will not be this easy in phase 2. He's actually going to enter phase 2 somewhere around the 50 to 60% health range, depending on how quick you're attacking. When he does this, he's going to do a long charge attack where he stabs the scythe into the ground and says, "You shall not..." Gosh, freaking dang it. Where he stabs the scythe in the ground and begins charging. This gives you ample time to get behind him and get as many hits as you want, or to get behind and get a backstab to get a good visceral attack for extra damage. The latter of which I executed very poorly for the footage of this video. But as you see from my video, he's going to do an AoE as soon as he is done charging, so you need to make sure that whatever you're going to do, you get in, do it quick, and then get right back out. Then we begin the lovely thing known as phase 2, which is what the real issue with this boss is. Because, oh look, he can fly now. That's fair. Learning the timing of his Flying Dutchman attack is going to be one that's going to take a few times. Mostly because not every time are you going to be able to see him at all because of the lovely camera angles in these games. Not only is he more aggressive, but the guy has apparently drank a Red Bull because good lord, he is so much faster now. However, since he is doing more physical attacks now, this does give you more windows for parry. Only problem being he is a lot quicker, so the window is also a lot smaller. There's one specific magic attack you always want to be able to recognize the second he begins to do it, because it is by far the most dangerous you will deal with in phase 2. If you notice Logarius begin to slam a sword into the ground, you need to get ready to get as close to him as you possibly can. Not to hit him, but to hit the thing that he just plunged into the ground. All it is a sword, but when he does a specific attack, as long as that sword is in the ground, a bunch of swords come flying from the air and constantly attack you. When I say a lot, I'm talking like that moment in Zelda when you hit the chicken too many times and then you realize, oh shit. Just take note that when he stabs a sword in the ground, there will be a small AoE, so you have to time it right because you can't run in immediately, otherwise you'll get knocked back and then run into an even bigger problem. Learn the timing, wait for the AoE, and then dart in there and take out that sword. Occasionally, he will be a dick and do it 2 or 3 times in a row. Just letting you know, don't be surprised. But that's really it for Martyr Logarius. The biggest thing to take from this is to use the steeples in the first phase to help you kind of distance yourself when he's doing magic attacks. If you haven't already by this point of the game, which would be very shocking, but if you haven't, you need to learn to parry to help you with this boss if you're having problems beating him. And then lastly, just learning the magic attacks and knowing what to look for and how to react, specifically the sword attacks, so you know there's going to be an AoE, but you also know you need to get in there quick, knock it out so you can make sure you have the best chance of surviving. And if you make sure to do and master all these things, you'll have no problems taking down Gandalf. Son of a... That's going to be it for today's episode, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe for anything about anything. I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode where we take a look at how to defeat Mikolash, another one of the puzzle bosses of these lovely Souls games. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you guys next time.